everybody's talking about it, and there are a lot of people talking about it in really general terms, but then there are a lot of bigots trying to find reasons why it's okay. Dylan, our question today is it okay for white folks to wear a blackface for Halloween? Go. Either one of you.
No, absolutely not. Not at all. It's crazy. I don't know why they even feel think they can do that. It's crazy.
We're describing that two people, or a few people, were going out as Trayvon and Zimmerman.
Yes, together.
Yes, together.
Yeah.
No, so I think what we need to do is because it's hard for these white, these white kids, suburban kids. There is a disconnect. It's hard to describe. It's like being a brown man, being a minority, being an immigrant, and being poor. So let's say you're a poor brown immigrant man. You're fucked. And to describe that guy's life to people that are not brown, poor, or man, is like it would be, I think, like Armstrong trying to describe to me on what it's like to walk on the moon. It's just so unavailable to me. It's just I have nowhere to start. I have no middle. I have no end. If you're a white kid from Connecticut and you're talking about gang violence, you're talking about the urban slums, you're talking about shootings in the streets over tennis shoes. That experience is so unavailable to some other kids in our culture that dressing up as a kid that got murdered, who was going to the store to get some candy, and dressing up as a guy that, a failed cop or a guy who would love to be a cop but he can't, and some weird gun nut like wannabe guy, to dress up like that, I think there's an innocence. They literally have nowhere to know what they're doing wrong. They don't have any, it's like someone says, hey, you know what it's like to walk on the moon? I just don't. I could look at a million pictures. I could hear interviews. I could hold a moon rock. I could be put into an anti-gravity sling. I could wear the outfit. I could take a tour of the space shuttle. It's just nothing would get me to know what it's like to really walk on the moon. There's not and so I think that's what we're struggling with.
Sure, Teina. Nobody can. No one would be able to know what it felt like to live in a area that has been redlined for poverty, where people are so desperate that they would kill you over some shoes. Nobody has an idea. People in America don't have an idea at all what it would be like to be like a Guatemalan street kid who's sniffing shoe glue to keep away the hunger pains. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no idea what that shit is like, but I do have empathy. But I do have some empathy to know that that shit ain't any good.
Right.
It must be shitty. Yeah.
I know it's shitty. Yeah. It's just like when you talk about. I know that particular situation isn't built for human flourishing, right? I know that if somebody is putting on a Trayvon outfit for Halloween, and they are white, and they're getting the giggles on it, something's wrong with them. They were raised incorrectly. Somewhere their brain is underdeveloped. It could be a physical deficiency, a deformity where they just didn't get the right size of brain, or it could be that they were brought up by bigots.
Right, exactly. I think that's mostly like.
And there could be some other shit going on. I don't know what else it could be going on, but it could be a lot. All right, so we got.
What I'm interested in, just as a discussion, is sometimes when you hear about people doing this, dressing up as Trayvon, a murdered child, and it's just a funny costume in some neighborhoods. What in those neighborhoods is offensive? That's what I was wondering. How about a big black man walk around that neighborhood to their Halloween party, and there's a big black man with black gloves on and a stocking cap, and his partner, his fun time party person, is he gets a blonde woman to go out with him and puts a slice on her neck, and they're OJ and Nicole. Is that okay among white? No, I'm at white parties. Remember, I'm talking about this is at white parties. When people go, that's awesome. I get it. That's awesome. That's funny. That's pop culture, right? That's da-da-da. I often wonder, in this neighborhood where you can wear a Trayvon costume, portraying that you're, look at, I'm a child that was shot dead innocently in cold blood. What would they get mad at in these neighborhoods? What is the costume that would offend?
Right. What would be too far for you? Because I never got it in the first place, the joy and giggliness people would get in defending Zimmerman when you know the details of the case, that the kid didn't have any weapon, wasn't doing anything wrong at all, and then to get the giggles off of that, I just don't get it.
I can't believe it. I mean, it is a crazy situation that people have this idea that it's okay to do that. And if you listen to right-wing radio, you'll hear these same people, and it's like, how can anybody think that way?
How could you think that way? But instead of doing that, what we figured out on the last episode, instead of saying why would they or how could they think that way, instead say, I see how you could think that way with a brain like yours. Caller, your line is open.
I remember.
Okay, Teina, go ahead. Yeah.
I remember being at a Halloween party, and a dude was dressed as a priest, right, Catholic priest.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, cool.
Go ahead, Teina. This is who?
Jamal Harrington.
Okay, Jamal, welcome to the show. Teina will tell us a story about him being at a Halloween party and somebody is dressed up like a priest. Go ahead.
Had the black smock on, the little white collar, and he was, was obviously being a priest, but he had a doll, like a little boy doll, like a Chucky doll, glued onto the crotch. He put the face. It was facing him on his crotch, like this little kid was stuck in his dick, hanging off of his clothes, and he was walking around like that with this little kid, like looking like this little kid was stuck in it. Now that's a social comment, and that's a risk. And that's like making fun of the perpetrator, making fun of the evil of these people, and having everybody being out in the open at parties going, in case y'all forgot, these bitches are dirty. That was fun. That wasn't. It's obvious that he's not saying ha ha ha. I'm so happy they get the tube.
Somebody to turn on their phone a little, turn on their earpiece a little bit because you get an echo. Somebody does. It might be Jamal because it wasn't happening before. Go ahead, Tam. I'm sorry. So yeah, he has the priest costume on.
Yeah, I get.
Now, so you're saying that? Wait a minute. It's funny you should say that because so you're saying somebody black could go as Trayvon just to remind people of that particular horror, and say you don't get to have a holiday.
Yeah,
without getting some of that shit in the face.
You have to have like a some kind of sign or show. Now, if you went out with 10 of your friends and you all did Trayvon, that's kind of a statement. And
okay, so you're saying if like 10 brothers together went out and did like for instance Jamal, who just dropped off the line, he did last night the Ghost of Trayvon, and he said he was at a party where it was all white folks. And it made them have a deeper conversation. Some of them didn't even know about the case at all.
That's what bothers me about your show.
Okay, just a second. We got a caller with their hand up here, 917. Let's go ahead and answer their call.
That's really the problem.
Exactly. 917, your line is open.
Yeah, what's up? It's Jamal again.
Okay, Jamal, I just mentioned to them, you, and how I set it up was this. I said, and what they had said, not knowing what you did at all, they said, I asked them, could somebody black go out and do it? And they said, yeah, if you got 10 of your friends and y'all all went out as Trayvon together, and I said, well, what y'all don't know is Jamal, who just dropped off the line, he went out as Trayvon, and he said he went to a party, and there were people who didn't even know about the case, and it caused a conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I went, when I showed up, not for nothing, I only knew a few people there. I went with my roommate, but when I showed up there, people thought I was just a zombie, Nobody knew what I actually was until I pulled out the Skittles and the Arizona iced tea out of my pockets, and some of the people still didn't know what I was, and their friends was like, "Oh my God!" Like they were shocked that they didn't know. So like one of the people at the party had to whisper it in one of the ladies' ears, and she was like, "Oh my God! Like you came as that," and it did spark a conversation. Some people thought that, what, they thought it was like a political statement, or, yes, this costume had to be done because because some of the people forgot, didn't even know it happened, and was, unclear on what had happened on February 26th, 8 months ago. You know what I mean?
Right, and you didn't go as Trayvon. You went as the Ghost of Trayvon.
Yes.
Which is different.
Yes, I did.
Which is way different.
It's different than having a friend be.
He went in whiteface. Okay, he went in whiteface as the Ghost of Trayvon. Okay, you understand? That's way different.
That is different.
Now, see, I like costumes. Now, I did a costume a few years ago where my woman, my muse, and her friend both just had kind of like nice, sexy skirts on, dresses on, showing a little cleavage. But then they had big, fluffy beards and mustaches, black, and they put on turbans. So it's like these sexy women with beards and turbans, and then me and my girl's nephew, we put the burkas on. So we went to parties as, push-up bra, bearded turban women, and big, tall, burqa men. What happened was that experiment that night, being in a burqa, was a real experience in that you forget. I realized a little bit of what the women that are in a burqa are going through. You don't know you're in a burqa. You're looking out at the world, and you ain't nothing blocking your eyes. You're like, hey, what's up, everybody?
I see your
colors. The looks back at you are weird.
You get to see the confused look of the person you just walked up on. 206, I'm opening your line right now. Your line is open.
And it also gave me an insight to, if that's what it's going to take for these women, I can understand, when you talk about oppression, slavery, religious barbarism, these women, when I was like around that whole night wearing a burqa, I realized if this is what it takes to be out, right, to go shopping, to go visit a friend, if you got to cover up and take an escort or whatever, you know what, you're going to. You're just going to. If your home is a prison, unless you cover yourself up, then you're going to cover yourself up to get outside. I realized that, like, man, at least I'm out. I'm at a party. No one can see me. No one who knows who I am. No one can see the shape of my body. Hey, man, but at least I'm out. If this is what it takes, I'll put it on so I can at least walk the streets and breathe some air. And so I really, that whole night wearing a burqa, I don't know, I kind of recommend it to people. Like, see what kind of looks you get, see how it feels to be anonymous. And then I would walk by a mirror, and I would go, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
Oh, so you would surprise yourself, Teina, in the mirror.
And you go, that's me?